Hi folks, today we're going to draw 5 new mountain styles. I'm going to use 3 pens for this tutorial, but you could probably get away with 2. I'm going to use a Pigma Micron 05, a Pigma Micron 03, and a Pigma Micron 01. We're going to start with the 03 pen. I'll try and put the others here so you can kind of see what I'm doing at the same time. Right, there you go, there are the others. Start with the first thing. I'm going to try and keep my pen out of the way, and this we're going to call Quick and Easy, and this was inspired by Richard Witters, who's an amazing fantasy artist, and AE Paper Art, who does a similar style. So we're going to start straight away in pen, nice and jagged. We're going to go like that. There we go. We'll draw another one behind. And with this, we can just be really rough, okay? This style is sort of helped by roughness. And what I'll do is I'll draw 2 ways of drawing hills as well. So we've got like a curved peak and a spiky peak, right, for the hills. And then on our mountain here, we're going to use still our same pen and just sort of take in some of these jagged bits so they continue into the mountain a bit. And then we'll just extend out our lines so it looks nice, and we'll do the same with the hills. We don't have to do any jagged bits on those. So there we go, there's a bit there. And this can be very nice and easy. Right, and then what we're going to do is, I'm going to actually just take that there, right? We're going to use the same pen for the whole thing, and we're going to do very light pressure, and we're going to do a line rough down, sticking to the right hand side. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to try and do it with the pen out of the way. So there you go. See, so that one I've linked to that bit that comes in. That's another little section there. Go try again on this one. So from this peak, we're going to come down this right side with a jagged line like that. There we go. And that one, there we go. And then on this side, we can do kind of more jagged bit there. Just connect that up. And this side of this one, we'll do a jagged line like that. Okay, on the hills, we'll do a jagged line like that. There we go. Right, and then again with the same pen and light pressure, we're just going to shade them with lines. Okay, so this is really easy, really rough. Shade them in. Same on the hills. Okay, and there we go, that's the basis. And now we're just going to add some extra lines to kind of give it a bit more character, which you've definitely probably seen in my style before if you've seen any of my other videos. So we'll just add a few extra bits and bobs. Maybe some, I like to do these little circles on this. That's kind of inspired by the way Dyson Logos draws. I always wondered why he's called Dyson Logos. I guess he must have started out as a logo designer. Okay, and there we go. Same for the hills. Just add a little bit of dirt. And there you go, quick and easy, done. Right, number 2. We're going to do a high contrast style. So I'm going to stick, in fact, I'm going to use the 05 pen to start with. So there we go, 03's back there, and 01. So that one was just 03. Right, this one, we can again do a nice jagged mountain. We'll draw 2, sort of try and do the same for each of these 5 styles. And then we'll draw a curved hill and a spiked hill as well. Right, and then we'll get the 03 back, put the 05 back there. And then this time, we're going to draw a kind of a block shading, right? And we're going to do it on the right hand side again. So we'll draw a line down, right, and to there. You see we've got this line here. In fact, I'll add just a few little indents on these just to make the process make a bit more sense. So we've done this line down, and then we're going to do a jagged line like that. And as this line extends, that line will come up to it. Hopefully you can see. And then we're just going to fill it in black, right? And this is going to give us a nice kind of OSR, thick black style. OSR, I think, stands for like old school. What's the motorbike going by? OSR stands for old school revolution or renaissance or rules or... But anyways, the kind of old-fashioned D&D style. So there we go. Lots of nice black bits, and we're not taking it up right to the edge. We're going to leave a little bit of white, you see? So I'll do the same over here, draw a little line, fill it in black, and the same here. On this side of the mountains, we can just do a tiny little bit like that. Right, there we go. There we go, right, and a little bit there. Okay, and then finally on the hills, same thing. But you can imagine the hill kind of dissects there. There we go, and that one, just like that, just a little kind of curved triangle. Right, and then we'll make sure we leave little bits of broken line off the bottom of these, because that's important. Oh, there's a bit to do. So there, a bit there. Right, and then the finishing touch for this, again, is very similar to this. We're going to use some circles and kind of broken dots. And see, there's a little peak there. We'll just extend a line down like that and like that. And then it starts to look kind of cool. So that's number 2. So we'll call that, what should we call that? Quick and contrasty. And this one, we're going to use the 03 pen still, and we're going to kind of do mountains that have flat peaks. See, like that. You see, we don't go up to a point, we're going up to more of a flat kind of situation. And this style suits something a little bit smaller. So if you're drawing in quite a small scale, this could be a good one for you. So again, we're going to extend our lines always. This is really important because it makes just an outline shape become something, which I think personally makes your maps look way better when they've got a bit of life. There we go, right, like that. So we'll take, that was 03, and we'll take the 01 for this one. And what we'll do is we'll draw a nice thin line down the right hand side. Right, and then here you can add separate bits. So let's say like that, and like that, all the way down. We'll do the same here. Just connect them up, and then here we'll go along this line that comes over. And for this one, like that. So here, I would just add a few bits there, a few bits there. And then this, I'll just extend that down a bit. A line like that. And that one can come all the way across. And you can keep this kind of rough. It's quite a nice style to do. And then where we've got some blank space, we'll just add a little bit like that, which gives us a kind of ridge. Okay, there we go. And for hills, which I forgot to show you, same again, a curved one and a pointy one, back to the thinner pen, and we'll just do some lines down the side and add a few bits of broken, and that should do. Okay, so that one, I forgot to tell you, stupidly, this one was inspired by an artist called Stiran. So I'm going to write, in fact, no, I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to put it in digitally because I'm not going to write them all. This one we will call Easy and Effective. This one inspired by an artist called GMM Eve. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I found their work on Instagram and absolutely loved it. So the next one, we're going to go to a thicker pen. So we'll call this 4. And this one was inspired by an artist called Funk Blast. So I'll leave the links to the pictures that inspired me for these images in the description. Now this one, we need a nice thick sort of just, well, ridge line. It's not a ridge line, mountain outline. So that's why I'm using the thicker pen. There we go. Got 2 there, and I'll draw hills in the same way, right? And what we want to do is try and gradient the pressure. So I've done a bad job here because I've got a nice thick bit there. So I'm going to try and extend that off, and that one. And then with our thin pen, so we're going to go from quite thick to quite thin, right? We want quite a lot of contrast with this. We're going to extend these lines again, as always. So that can come down there, that down there. Okay, and what we want is nice light pressure. This is a kind of low contrast approach. I quite like it. I can't say I've ever really used it all that much, but it is quite nice. So now with our thin pen, we're just going to use dots. So we're going to add just a few kind of dots down the right-hand side, and maybe a couple of dashed lines, right? But it's going to be really minimal. So you see, just on the right, just some dots. Over there too. And then on the hills, this is where this, I think, perhaps doesn't work so well, right? So we've done that. We've got some gaps in the middle. So let's make some more dotted lines, and we'll just add a bit of extra dirt to these, if you know what I mean. Now the hills, I think it's better if your hills don't look like this sort of individually, and what you try and do is more like a kind of up and down, right? So kind of double one, we'll extend it out a bit, and then again with the thinner 01 pen, we'll extend this over, right? And then we just sort of stipple the edge a bit. There we go. I think that looks a bit better than that, but hey, it's your call. Right, the final one will be one that you may have seen recently on my Snowy Peaks video. Let's call this one, hold on. We'll call this the thick outline. And the final one, I'm going to take credit for this one. I feel like it's sort of my own inspiration. It's probably the worst of the 5. So, hey, again, 03 pen. We're going to make some nice peaks and extend our lines out. We'll do 2. So we'll just call this one snowy-ish, right? And then we'll use the thinner pen, but you don't have to do this. You could use the same pen for all of it, but I'll put the 05 and the 03 up there. We're going to draw a little sort of snow cap by adding a little line like that. Oh, extend these out a bit, of course. Don't forget that, kids. Very important. There we go. Right, so our snow cap, and then we're just going to shade underneath. So there we go. Snowy cap. That can come down like that. Add a tiny bit in there. And the same here. Snowy bit there. And then where we don't have snow, we can just do similar to this style, right? I'm going to move those pens out of the way so you can see. Similar to this, we'll just shade the edges a bit. So the snow will be on the higher peaks. So here we go. Around this top bit, do some shading underneath the line that we've drawn. And we'll add a tiny bit there. And then these just as normal. So our hills will basically use the same style as this one. Right, back to the thin pen, extend these lines out a bit, and then just put them in like that. And then the final finishing touch, we can add just a little bit of a few extra kind of lines with shading underneath. And then a few bits of shading without lines as well. And then on the hills, just a little tap like that. And if you thicken up slightly under these lines with the snow, I think it can give it a little bit more depth to just say, hey, this is snow. Might not look like snow to you, and that's fair enough. I'm going to add a tiny bit, just a few little dots just on the snow to give it a tiny bit extra because I can't leave it alone. Anyway, there we go. 3 pens, 5 styles, nice and easy. That was about 15, 16 minutes of drawing. Try them out. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite, how would you use them in maps and things like that. Definitely, if you want to email me examples, my email is mapsbyown@gmail.com, which I'm going to put here. All right, see ya.